This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's strange, isn't it, how your tastes can change over a period of time. You may have noticed that my favourite type of guitar is a Telecaster. I might have mentioned it once or twice. But it wasn't always the case. Back in about 1986, when I was 19 years old, I had my first hands-on encounter with a Fender Telecaster. Not a copy, it was actually a genuine Fender article. Belonged to a friend of mine. And I played it and was distinctly unimpressed. The square-edged plank-like body, the lack of humbuckers, and it was the 80s. All guitars in the 80s, were supposed to have a Floyd Rose or a Carla locking trem, and the Telecaster just wasn't for me back then, but it has become my staple go-to guitar these days. And there's another style of guitar that I've never really got on with. It's the SG. It's something to do with the fact that the neck joins the body at the very last fret, which means that, if you are a habitual Fender-style guitar player and you go for what you think is the 12th fret, you usually miss by about 3 frets. And the neck dive and the fact that you feel like you need a taxi to get the volume and tone controls, it's just never been the guitar for me, really. And yet, I find myself more and more these days in idle moments grazing the interweb, looking at SGs, browsing them, thinking, setting yourself that kind of fantasy budget. So I've decided I'm going to pull the trigger just to scratch the itch, basically. It doesn't have to be an SG, it could be something of that shape. I was thinking about maybe a Harley Benton, their DC Custom or whatever their SG version's called. But there's a fair chance I might not be keeping the guitar, so I want something with a little bit better resale value than a Harley Benton. And they've recently, or since the last time I had one, which was a few years ago, they've changed the body shape, I think for legal reasons, and it just looks a little bit lopsided and unbalanced now. So I was thinking about maybe a Guild Polara or an ESP Viper or something like that. They're SG style guitars, but they're all either out of stock or out of my budget. Same story with the new Yamaha Rev Stars. The only one that's in my budget is out of stock everywhere. So it's going to be an Epiphone. That's what I've decided. Let's go shopping. Okay, let's go shopping for an SG. I've got 4 particular variants of the SG species to look at, and I've shopped around for places that have got them in stock and that have got the best price on them. And if we're starting anywhere, I guess it might as well be with the Epiphone SG Standard. Good looking beast. This colour in an SG is pretty much, I think, what you think of, mainly thanks to Angus Young, I guess, as the iconic SG look. And I do like that new Epiphone headstock shape. I don't really care what the badge is on the headstock, but I do like the shape of the headstock matters to me. The old Epiphone headstock shape, let's go back a little bit, with the sort of corners clipped off here, I just always thought that looked wrong on SGs and Les Pauls, but it just suits it much better. So yeah, good looking beast. Let's have a look at the specs. You can see this one is $399. We've got mahogany body, mahogany neck, 60s slim taper neck. That's going to be very similar to my old Gordon Smith GS 1.5, which was a beautifully comfortable neck to play. Indian Laurel fretboard, 22 frets, lock tone, ABR Tune-O-Matic and stop bar, Graphtec nut, Grover Rotomatic tune heads, 18:1 ratio, and Alnico Classic Pro pickups, and just your standard meat and potatoes control loom there, 2 volumes and 2 tones, CTS electronics, but no kind of phase switching or single coil switching or anything like that, which is not something I'm bothered about. Then another one, so that one's $399. Another one that I really like the look of when it came out. I did a video a couple of years ago now about, you know, if you're in the market for an SG, what are your options? And this was one of the ones that really took me. Then it really kind of made an impression on me. And it's the SG Modern Figured in Trans Black Fade. Looking at it now, my tastes, I suppose my tastes have changed in the fact that I'm shopping for an SG, because I never really got on with them before, but in the last couple of years I'm thinking my tastes have changed, because I remember thinking that this was a stunning looking guitar, and I'm just a bit underwhelmed by it now. You know, let's have a look, see what the specs have to say about it. We've seen already, if we just look closely at it, it's a 24 fret neck. It's not a deal breaker for me, but I do. It's like Coke and Pepsi. I often say this. I may express a preference one way or another, but I'll take what's on offer. But if push comes to shove, I do prefer 22 frets. It's just to do with the placement of the neck pickup, really. 24 frets tends to shove it back a little bit, and it doesn't really sound like a proper neck pickup often. That's interesting there. It's saying it's got a AAA flame maple top. I don't know about you, but to me, that looks rather plain for something that purports to be a AAA grade flame maple top. Maybe it looks different in the flesh, I don't know, but you would think if they're going to take a photo to put on the website, they would pick the best example that they could find, and that possibly isn't it. Once again, we've got a Graphtec note. We've got high gloss finish, lock tone ABR bridge and stop bar tailpiece. Again, same tuners as the SG standard. Pro Booker 2 and Pro Booker 3, coil splitting and phase switch. Again, CTS pots. You know, on paper it looks like a very strong contender, but I don't know, just what I once thought was a stunning looking guitar, I'm thinking it looks a little bit underwhelming these days. Let's go and have a look at something that's completely at the other end of the spectrum here, the Epiphone SG Classic Worn P90 in cherry. I had the Les Paul Classic Worn recently in the gold top, and it was a lovely guitar. Really did enjoy the satin finish on it and everything, and I do like P90s. So this is a lovely looking thing, very sort of blue collar workman-like kind of look to it. I do like the satin finish. The only thing I'm not really keen on here are these tuning pegs here. We'll have a look at the specs and see what kind of tuners it's got, but just the buttons themselves. I know that these kind of tuning buttons crop up on various Gibsons, you know, at some point or other, juniors and Les Paul specials and stuff like that, but they always just strike me as, they look like the tuning pegs on my first ever K student steel string acoustic guitar with the egg slicer action and the, you know, just, they look a bit cheap and nasty, but tuners that, you know, swap those out easily enough, I suppose. Let's go and have a look at the specs. Again, we've got the lock tone ABR bridge and stop tailpiece, 2 Epiphone Pro P90 single coils. What does it say about the tuners? Epiphone Deluxe machine heads with ivory buttons. Yeah, I remain to be convinced on those tuners, but I do, you know, it's got the P90s and it's got that satin finish, and it is the cheapest of the bunch as well. So yeah, I'll come back to that one. The final one is Epiphone SG Standard 60s in vintage cherry. Again, not something that would ever be a deal breaker, but I do prefer this sort of, let's call it shortened or, you know, smaller pickguard on the SG to the one that we find on the SG Standard. You know, it's it just looks a little bit more graceful and tasteful, that I think. And yeah, let's have a look at the specs. So once again, slim taper neck and 22 frets, Graphtec nut, and 18:1 tuners. These are just the Epiphone ones, though, not the what was it on this one? This was the Grover machine heads on there, and these are just the Epiphone Deluxe Vintage 18:1s. Again, just plain and simple electronics, just no single coil switching or anything like that. Gloss finish, and yeah. So out of all of them, this one $389. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do straight away. I'm going to discount the Epiphone SG modern figured. So it really is now between the I think the P91, the worn one. The only thing I don't like about that, as I say, it's got the bigger pick guard, but meh, it's not really something that I'm going to lose any sleep about, to be honest with you. This one is the one that's shouting me, though. This is the one that is really kind of making me think, if I was buying this guitar to keep, which I might be, the business plan is that I buy these guitars, do a few videos with them, including this one, that earn me some revenue, and then sell them on and hopefully show a profit at the end of it with the YouTube revenue and the resale value of the guitar. But if I was buying it to keep for myself, which, you know, has been known to happen, I think it would be this one. Yeah, so we've got between the SG Standard in Cherry, and yeah, it's going to be this one. I'm having this one. I'm going to buy it. Let's buy with PayPal.
Go on, lad. Way out.
And there you go. Thank you for placing your order with us. £389, and it will be delivered on Friday the 18th of March, which will be in the past by the time you're watching this video. But, you know, there will be an unboxing and first impressions video at some point, and a full-on kind of shakedown, playing it in a mix, and, you know, proper review. So I'll let you know more when the time comes. So there you go. I've just bought an SG. Indeed. Right. Yes, it will be, by the time you're watching this video, it will be here by now. And there will be an unboxing video, as I said, and a full review. I'll keep you posted. And that is the video for today, folks. Hope you've found it as much fun as I have making it. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And why not give me a like while you're at it? It helps me in the algorithm, and I've got a guitar to pay for, so please do so. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk guitars. Fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.